RPG. Now today, Barbarian Horde, we will be talking about what you should do when you're role playing, when you're making that critical and crucial decision. Do you roll a die and deal 1d8 of damage to be forgotten before it has even happened, evaporating, if you will, baby, into the cosmic winds of disremembrance? Or do you do the cool thing? Now, when I'm playing an RPG, when I'm running an RPG, when I'm well into character, I'm gonna be a character. Now, in real life, I might be a living cartoon character, but when I'm in a game, I can be any kind of character I want and let my colors run wild, vivid, or dull. Whichever way I want to come out it when I have the opportunity to inflict action, to bring pristine uh, description to a situation, I'm going to do that. I'm going to get involved. I'm going to pull it. Now, what I've seen when I play in games for so many years now is that when I do that, when I put it forward, when I put it forth, and then I sit back, like, yeah, that's right, motherfucker. What do you got? Well, other motherfuckers, they next time they go just a little bit better off that, and they start describing a little bit more, a little bit more, and then they're just hearing what all the praise I'm getting, and they're like, "Fuck this." A little more, a little more, a little more, a little more, until it starts to hit them, until it starts to come to them like a tidal wave. When you really dig down and come up with some great stuff to explain, to do, to bring in, instead of going with the hex grid, and you know how much your main man hates hex grid. I take a miniature, I throw that miniature right on the ground, I'll drop an elbow on it, I'll cover it for the 3 count, and I'll break its shield and its sword. I don't give a damn if it's plastic or pewter. It's going to do a damn job. I don't have any use for that. I don't have any use for gaming tables. I barely goddamn can tolerate fucking dice. Fuck these dice. So why? And the reason is the season, baby. And the season is that sizzling, beautiful stew of imagination, of creation. And that's what role-playing games are about. When you're playing Bang Bang, Cactus Jack and Robbers, you're not playing a game to deal extra damage, man. You're getting there. You're believing you're the robber. You're believing what's really good, the jail cell, the guns, the bank, the buddies, the police, the sirens. You're going to that creative play place. Don't devalue and defranchise that. Go to that stream and that well of imagination and describe what would be awesome that my character could do that would make the scene, that would be hot, that if I was watching this as a television show, and that is a wonderful litmus test to use. Your game, whether you're running or playing in it, it is yours. Make it as good as you can for your presence. Trust me, other players will appreciate it too. Am I going to just swing that hammer for an extra die of damage? Or am I going to get in there? Am I going to dig in there deep and dirty and really give unto the audience, the other players, the game master? Now we will do videos on YouTube for perpetuity for the upwards of, I don't know, 14 more days that YouTube will probably be around with the nonsense they keep pulling. Is it going to be that situation to allow the audience to really get in there and enjoy that? Do you enjoy that nonsense? Or do you want to get in there and really describe stuff? Do you want to get in there and just take a man right down to Drown Town and just push him under the water and let him pay the price of the eyes, be bugging out till you just force him down? Or do you get in there and you look at the other players, you get the face red, you get the veins popping out, and really connect and really put that passion in and put it over? You know, it's role-play games are melodramas with melodramatic actions of fabulousness, of kung fu movies, of professional wrestling matches, of big blockbuster movies. These things are great when you get in there with the, with the description, with the picking a man up and hitting a Steiner screwdriver, or putting a camera clutch on a man and making him humble, and really get in there, just describe the details. Look around you. I played a game yesterday. It was I had a blast playing, and I'm going to come in and maybe use a weapon, right? Just to soften things up. And I'm looking around everything in the environment. I'll start using the environment to my advantage and your disadvantage. There's an anvil there being worked over with burning steel, so your face will meet the steel. We'll talk about the sizzling, the burning of the flesh, the smell of that cooking flesh as it permeates the environment. We're going to talk about how the screams of that person, he pulls away, the flesh peels off his very face, his eyes water, horror fills him. What about throwing a man into a burning, a huge chimney, if you will, just right up in there and locking him in and letting him be burned alive, or taking somebody to the creek. And much like the creek, just putting them right deep in the mud, baby, right down where the turtles dwell, right down where the eggs are laid, and just bringing all the environment in, bringing everything you can think of in, with the mosquitoes, with the running water, with the churning, with the bubbling, with the smell of honeysuckle and fresh wood. Engage all the senses. You could do this as a player. You could describe it. You can make your scene sizzle, produce your scene, make it hot, make the other players at the table go, God damn, and make them want to smack their mamas. They ain't never seen action like that in their life. And anyone could do that. Just have the conviction and your role playing talent, work your descriptions, work the engagement of five senses, and particularly what people so often miss is smells. Man, and smells illumine us to other times, and they fill our imaginations so much better in many cases than sight does. Remember to engage sounds. Remember to engage the feeling, the touch, the tactile senses of mud, of water, of bone, of blood, and get in there. Think about what happens when you swing an 8-pound warhammer right at a man's dome and connect with full ferocity of two-handed grips with a big, strong, burly bruiser. Because guess what? You're probably playing a guy that can whoop that ass just the way we always do in a situation like that. Or describe the nimbleness, the dexterity, the dancing of the swashbuckler, the wild tactics and of the acrobat, swinging through the air, whipping trees, flying through the air, giving a man a boot, giving a man an old Tito Santana spinning scissor head takeover with the legs, if you will, flying head scissor, what a man trying to get to and has got to at this time. Give them that energy, and you don't even have to always get energy. You could sit back and very carefully, eloquently describe a vividly painted mental image. The sound of feet barely making a splash in the water, in the muck, in the mud, as you move around, as you penetrate between the third and fourth rib. Allow the steel to sit in there, and you put your hand over their mouth and go, shh, it's okay. It's okay, just go. Just go. Just let it all behind. Your fight is over. And they're like, why? Shh, it's all right. And you're rubbing the hair, and you're being sweet and laying them down in a creek bed for their final resting place, and to describe it as the sun shines down through the canopy of trees woven above, as a blue jay calls through the air, some robins flutter, and one of the stones reflects the light dwindling down, and everything is calm and beautiful and peaceful as the smells of nature you describe one by one, and the camera pans away and then pans back as your shadow pulls back off the dead corpse laying face down in the water as the blood still rolls out of that corpse into the water. Give it those descriptions. Do the cool thing. Get in there. Engage. Don't look for your optimum damage capacity. Don't look to avoid provoking attacks opportunity. I'll provoke all the attacks. I don't give a damn. I've had game masters before tell me, you can't do that. You're going to create 12 attacks opportunity. I say, roll your motherfucking dice, son, and let your main man get in that ass the way I always do each and every time. Do what you feel your character's going to do. Think about it like a movie. And imagine when you're a movie, you're sitting there watching the movie, you paid good goddamn money for that movie, and you see him do something bitch ass like, oh, boo, stank. If I was there, I would have done this. Guess what, motherfucker? It's called a role-playing game. You are there, at least in spirit. And let that spirit flow. Don't sit there and knock some chips out and be barely pay attention and roll. Oh, I missed. Keep going. Oh, I hit. It's 3 damage. Keep going. You missed the whole point. The whole point. You can produce so much for a combat situation. You can produce so much outside of a combat situation, right? When you have your skill challenges, your skill checks. Let's go in and describe in vivid detail that blacksmithing scene. You roll the dice. Well, you fucked up. Let's describe a fuck up. You succeeded splendidly. Let's describe succeeded splendidly. You did an average job. Let's describe that too. You could do that. You could talk about the sweat. The sweat's coming out. Boom! The hammer hits the anvil, the steel. Bang, bang, bang. The sounds reverberate. Your arm tisses and shakes. There's burn marks on it. There's some hair missing. Your face is flushed, sweat on the brow, eyes wide, again and again, and you've created a scene out of something that simple. And we don't always have to go into these things, but when we do go into them, let's get all we can out of them. Don't fumble around in something and pull out nothing. Pull it all out, and then pull out some more. And you can paint wonderful scenes with almost every action you make in a game. And when you string those together, you have a fucking awesome contribution from your part to a game. And you can take so much work off your game master's shoulder. Don't put it on a game master to describe what happens. Hell, you just killed him. Just give him, hey, high sign. As we do it with Ring Fire. You can get that from me right now. Hit up, get all 5 books in PDF for only $75. And that'll get you everything that's coming out from within the Ring of Fire at any point in the future. And this will tell you just how to get all that cool stuff done, all that vivid stuff done. It's so much more detailed than I could ever go into right here and right now. Or you can go to Drive Through RPG and you can get your physical copies of the 5 within the Ring of Fire books are out now. Deep immersive dark fantasy role play. That's for your mind itself. But and you can even get the apparel line over there on my Cafe Press. Go up on the channel or hit my Facebook link. Come talk to me on Facebook. And because me, I love this hobby, and I want to see. I see so often it goes in the wrong way with people too scared to make commitments and just being ambivalent. Oh, whatever you want to do, that's fine. Just buy our product. No, it's about, hey, what can we do at the table to make it fun, to make it sizzle, to make it exciting, to make people really can't fucking wait to come back next time. And when I see people vividly getting into it and giving their best try, and not everyone can do as well, and not everyone can do as well the first time as they can do the 57th time, the 375th time. You see, because you keep learning, you see what worked, what didn't work, just like anything else in life, and you can get better. And that can add so much to a game, so much enthusiasm, so much fun. And from the immersive style, I see people with that tremendous enthusiasm so very often. And just from watching videos, I have people contacting me all the time for years. Your main man has been in this hobby, in this game called YouTube RPG. Say, wow, that enthusiasm really got me. That's what I always thought role-playing games were. And that's what they always have been. But sometimes you could get diluted with feats and with merits and all kinds of nonsense. It's about the psychology of the person, about their story, their struggle, their perhaps their heroic tale. As sometimes with this individual, who are they? What do they do? Where's their dynamic changes? Where does that broken, sad, evil figure fall further into darkness? And where does he raise up, run in, turn on the heel, and waffle him with a steel chair and get a pay window and have the fans erupt as we fade to black? And where do we get those little mundane experiences? Don't look at the towering kingdom way fucking off at the end of the campaign where you're going to fight Nectar, the Visigoth. Pay attention to everything along the trail. Look at the sights, the smells, describe every scene you're in needs to be the most important scene. Because it is the most important scene. That's what you're playing right now. That's what you're guaranteed, what you're doing right now. And you can make it wonderful. And the great thing, when you're pumping your Game Master up full of fun, your Game Master's going to keep running. It's going to keep coming. And the other players, they're going to get involved. They're going to be getting it. Everything's going to work out well. People are going to have a great time. And you're going to be producing a game that allows you to really have the simulation of that movie. The simulation is never produced by dice. People look for the verisimilitude through dice constructed systems. It's all about the way you interpret and describe based off your level of success with dice. And that's, again, within Ring of Fire, just what we bring to allow you that base platform to really get and dig into creating that description, because that's what you want after all. What are you comparing your game to? You know, you're comparing it to fantasy books, to fantasy television shows, to fantasy movies, to fantasy plays, uh, and other genres as well, depending on what you're doing. And you could certainly cross genre, cross pollinate, have things that are dramas, really correlate and become very similar to what you are doing in your game at any given time. So that in of itself is no necessity, but so often we see those elements being brought in. Uh, but when you paint with vivid colors, man, you can really make a beautiful picture, and that's what I'm talking about. Do the cool thing. Don't just swing the die. Don't just do nothing. Look around. Use your scenery. What's cool, and that doesn't just come to combat. You can think of all kinds of neat, cool things you can do in a game just by examining and being part of the game and really paying attention to what's going on. Pay attention and use that in your game. This your main man. Boom!